said so long, carry on, 'cause the devil wants to take me for a ride.
Buenos dias! Actually, it's buenos tardes, but maybe you're listening in the morning. And welcome back, hombres y mujeres, ladies and gentlemen, to Get Your Act Together with Mike Bain. How you doing? How you guys doing, man? It's nice. I've been putting out some shows again. I'm happy you're there. And yeah, like I said, I told you I was going to put out some more. Getting some stuff out there. I know the schedule has been very random. But I just kind of told myself that if the stuff is done, I'm putting it out. I'm not waiting. I'm not going to, because whenever I do that, wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect time, and I don't do it. So, get it, put it out when I can. There we are, and I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you being there. Anyway, right off the bat, just wanted to, oh, fuck you, Dropbox. I just wanted to say big, what do I say? Rest in power, Richard Lewis. So Richard Lewis passed away. And for those of you who don't know, Richard Lewis was, he was a comedian. Started, I believe, in the 60s, and he was great. He was a really fucking funny dude. And a lot of you probably aren't familiar with Richard's stand-up. Like me, you primarily know him from Curb Your Enthusiasm, on which he was amazing. His chemistry with Larry David is just, he's next level. I think it's better than, the only other chemistry on the show that could maybe be rivaled is Larry's chemistry with Leon, whose name I can't remember. I can't remember that comedian. It'll come back to me. He's the black one. Anyway, Larry and Richard had something else on that show, and it's sad to see Richard go. He was one of the old school comics. One of the guys from back in the 60s. Most of those dudes are dead. Richard made it to his 70s. A lot of those guys don't make it that far due to partying or suicide or bad lifestyles and bad life decisions. So you might also know Lewis. He was in some movies. I think he did a TV show before, besides Curb. But I know two of the movies that I know were Wagons East, which was a fun movie if you've never seen it, about a wagon. It was a Western comedy with obviously Lewis, a Jewish, a nebbish Jewish guy from New York, who they went out west and they were like, fuck this, and they went back east. And he was in Mel Brooks's comedy Robin Hood in Tights, which I think came out in the early 90s. It's often overlooked. In Mel Brooks, and when people talk about Mel Brooks, Robin Hood Men in Tights does not get the love that his other movies get by a long shot. I thought it was good. I thought Lewis was great in it too. Anyway, Lewis's stand-up was something I always heard about, but I could never quite get into when I was younger. Same thing with Seinfeld. I'm going to have to take some time and watch some of his stand-up, I always found, he talked a lot. Lewis talked about himself being a drunk and his experiences that way. So maybe I should see, maybe I could find some similarities in his life with my own life. But anyway, great comic. He was, like I said, check him out on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm trying to get my wife into the show. She's not budging. But that's fine. She's got her shows like Gilmore Girls. She doesn't have to like everything I like. I kind of like that we have different shit. I actually appreciate that because I was having a conversation with my teacher, my Spanish teacher, who's a Colombian woman, and we were talking about the differences in culture and the differences in men and women in our respective countries. And I was telling her about how, some American women, not all, but some American women can be quite manly. There is a type of American woman, I've met quite a few of them back home, who they're just one of the guys, Hey, Frank's coming over with Susan. It's going to be great. They're each going to crush a 30 rack a piece. That fucking Susan, she's awesome. She can eat as many hot dogs as Frank can. It's great, isn't it? She's just one of the guys. Isn't it awesome when you're a fella and your wife comes with you to watch a football game and you sit there and you both get blackout drunk and burp and fart and where you just put no effort into how you look when you leave the house. You practically wear the same fucking outfit, It's fucking great. And you wear the same sweatpants, you burp and you fart together, she takes dumps as long as you do. It's romance. I don't know. That to me is not. I know couples like that. I've met couples like that. I don't get it. I'm sorry. To me, that's foul. It's foul. There has to be a very clear delineation between I'm the guy and I do my guy shit, and you're the woman and you do your woman shit. You go out, you have your girlfriends. That's all right. I go out with my boyfriends. That's gay. That sounded so gay. It's only women can do that. Only a woman can say, I have my girlfriends. My mother says that. She's like, I'm going out with my girlfriends. And I never think, fucking dyke. I never think. What if a guy says, I'm hanging out with my boyfriend. You're like, what are you, fucking gay? What is wrong with you? What are you, yeah? You guys gonna have a cock sandwich? You and the fellas? What's I can't believe I just said going out with my boyfriends. Anyway. I think that's great. I think that's amazing. I just, like, when you say, I don't know, man. I try genuinely to not be a slob in front of her. I really do. I try to fart in the other room. But lately, with all the protein powder I'm eating, and there was a couple days where I was just, for a quick, for lunch, I'm just eating a can of beans, right? Just a full can of chili, just a full can of beans, because they're good in protein. I didn't feel like, and then you eat something else, and it pushes the proteins push down into the beans push down into the protein powder, and it just does. So I try not to. I don't want that. I don't want that. That terrifies me. That sort of relationship where you and your wife are just the same person, and she really is just a dude. Like if your wife doesn't have a dress in her closet, it's just yoga pants and sweatpants, and she drinks like, I'm not trying to bash women, but getting wasted is it's not a feminine thing. I don't think it's good for dudes either. It's just, ugh. I usually don't look at a girl and go, look at that lush, huh? That's wife material. Oh man, there's nothing more feminine than a keg stand. I remember being in college, in a party. This girl's ripping a keg stand, and I might have known her. She might have come with me, and some random guy goes, "That's gonna be someone's mother someday." He's right, But hopefully, you evolve out of that. It's just that you would never see. That's such like a white girl country. I'm one of the dudes type of thing. I don't know. You wouldn't. I'm not saying girls in other cultures don't party, but they don't. I don't know. That's a dude. That's just yeah. That's what I want. A girl who eats just gets down and dirty. Shotguns 3 beers and then funnels on top of it with a chili dog and a bacon cheeseburger. No, give me a girl who drinks gay shit like wine coolers and spritzers and White Claws. That's it's good. it's good to have some separation. Anyway, oh, what else is going on? I'll lead into this, but let me. So, I like to cut the news in the front. So, we've talked about the crazy things in Hollywood. So, I'm not that into pop culture, but sometimes something happens and I think it's funny and I got to get into it. So, Meek Mill is a rapper. He's from Philadelphia. He's one of the few rappers that's still like, I'm a street dude rapper, right? Gangster rapper. I'm street, I'm hood. Because nowadays, most of the rappers are just, I don't know, they're these weird, I don't know, it's like black emo stuff, right? It's, if you took a black kid from the inner city and you would go, how do I take this whiny, man, no one respects my feelings thing from a white suburban kid, and I infused it into like a black inner city thing, right? That's kind of what a lot of new age rap is. Some of it, also a lot of it's gay. I don't understand how someone, if you grew up with rap in the 80s and the 90s, how do you handle? And that was your genre, right? I've listened to it. It took me a while to get into rap, but I like a lot of rap. But how do you really get into it when it's, Lil Nas X? How do you? Anyway, so apparently Diddy has just been ass fucking. P Diddy, Puff Daddy has just been fucking. Just, I don't know. He's been slurping and slamming and cramming and stuffing and I don't know. He's been doing it all. He's been putting things in holes and spreading things open. Anyway, so Diddy, it's all coming out, right? So a lot of people don't like Diddy because a lot of people blame him for the death of Tupac and Biggie Smalls, and apparently, I was reading something, and these are just allegations on Twitter, but it seems like he's done a lot of messed up stuff. He's kind of ruined a lot of artists. He's taken control of their careers and pimped them out, both literally and metaphorically. But something came out in some kind of legal proceeding. Excuse me, and one sec. It says that Diddy had sex with Usher and a guy who dated, I want to say Cardi B. I think it was Cardi B. He's a lady rapper who Meek Mill dated. And this dude who's into rap, I don't know how to say his name, Archimedes, Academics. I suck. I don't even know a DJ something. He shared it. And instead of just Meek Mill going, this is false, Meek tweeted like 80 times over the span of a few hours, and every time he would tweet, people would just put up, responses calling him a homo, and just putting up pictures of him and Diddy looking suspiciously gay. And here's the thing, a lot of people have said this. You can find videos of P Diddy calling other guys daddy, right? Calling other rappers daddy, and there's one where he got drunk on like Drink Champs and he started calling, he said, how come we don't party? And it's gross. So anyway, I don't know. If you want to have some fun, go on Twitter and watch Meek Mill fight for his life. I feel, it sucks that if you want to get into entertainment in any aspect, somebody's sucking somebody's dick. It's rough out there. I really, and people found this video of Usher and P Diddy, and they weren't exercising. It's just them videotaping each other, and they're all sweaty and breathing fast. Everyone goes, what's going on here? Oh, what are you, you guys just jump up and down 50 times? I also just don't, it's weird. Diddy could have all the pussy in the world. All the pussy in the world. And he just wants to fuck. I think he fucks both people, but I don't think he does it to get off. I don't think he's fucking to come. I think he's fucking to dominate and control and fuck a person's brain out. Like to mess to mess with someone in their soul, which is just evil shit. He really learned from Hollywood. Oh. Also, the person I feel like the worst about this is I said there's these videos of P Diddy talking to people, and he says, "You don't come out and party. You don't party with me like we used to." And the people get real weird. Cat Williams brought this up. He said, "You got to be careful when you go to a P Diddy party." I've heard this a lot. I saw other interviews years ago where people said, "Yeah, you go to a P Diddy party, girl sucks your dick, you open your eyes and it's a dude. P Diddy just has some white dudes, white gay boy sucking you off, and." They feed you drugs, you're doing Molly, you're doing all sorts of shit, and you start getting a little weird. And I've said this before on this show, I'm a big defender of Bieber, because Justin Bieber came up through Usher and P. Diddy, and I found a video of P. Diddy talking to Bieber, and you can see how visibly uncomfortable Justin is. He's a teenager. And P. Diddy says, "Justin, why don't you party with me? Yeah? You haven't partied with me in a while. Come party with me." And when you put it together and you go, I'm gonna say it again. I know I've defended him here before, but I don't think people defend him enough. His mother threw him to the wolves. His parents pimped him out for money and threw him with some predators. So anyway, it's gonna be interesting watching Diddy get got and then watching him start talk about, because it's not just Meek. Meek's not the only rapper who had to hide the pudding pop. He's not the only one. It's more than you think. And hey, Hollywood, I couldn't think of a worse group of rapists and pedophiles to get taken down other than Washington, D.C. and the political structure. Anyway, I mentioned rest in power earlier. I'm just kind of so this dude, man, this guy burned himself alive in the Air Force outside the Israeli embassy to scream free Palestine. And here's the thing, like I said, I think what's happening in Palestine is awful, but bro, you don't gotta burn yourself alive. And I might get in trouble for saying this. This is something my dad always said to me. He said, "If you're gonna take yourself out, Mike," this is my dad. He said, "Mike, if you're ever gonna take yourself out, take some other motherfuckers with you." I don't, you could have gone to Israel and, I don't know, shot some guys in the IDF. I don't know, maybe to me that's at least gone down shooting, but burning yourself alive, self-immolation. Yeah. I won't watch the video. I've seen pictures of it, and it's just... Anyway, he did this, and then this made me realize how toxic social media can be, because a lot of people on Twitter, mostly black people, but also some other white leftists, came out to say, "Don't say rest in power for this guy. That's only for black people." And a lot of it wouldn't even right. They just said, "How are you going to rest in power when you've been in power your whole life?" And it just goes to show you that there's a lot of people out there who think they're heroes and they think they're saving other people for a cause when they could be fighting for themselves, and they think they're fighting a cause for somebody else. And I haven't seen any Palestinians giving them shit. So let me just clarify that, but they're very seem to be grateful. Be careful what causes you devote your time to, because sometimes you might be doing it for people who really don't like you or care about you, and you're being an idiot. And also, it showed me that social media, like, the thing that makes it what it is that everyone gets a voice. But the thing that also makes it suck is that everyone gets a voice. You know, it really, and you got to remember that when you see someone on there and you see something and it makes you angry, you know, and you decide, I'm going to fight with this person, or they comment on your page or something you put up, you got to remember, this dude, it's going to be some fucking loser sitting in his underwear. You just, like, you're not arguing with, it's not you and another intellectual, and this is a debate and you're sparring back and forth. It's just some guy with a profile picture of a sexy furry fox, and you're trying to argue with this guy. You're trying to argue politics and history with an anthropomorphic sex fox with tits, with big fat areolas and big fat titties, and just, if you ever do, just take a second when you read something that makes you mad, and look and go, who am I mad at? Well, 80% of the time, their face isn't there. It's not a real person. Sometimes it is, and you look at them and you go, you're a fucking bum. And you're going, how many of these people, if they yelled at you on a street corner, would you give them the time of day? Would you? You wouldn't, right? And most of them, they never would. My buddy is in the Air Force, and we were talking about this, and he said, I feel bad for that guy who burned himself. I knew someone who was kind of like that in the Air Force. And this person got in trouble because they became trans, but not through the proper channels. You can be trans in the military. You just have to tell the right people that you're transitioning. You can't just one day show up in earrings and long hair and not get grilled by your commanding officer. And he said that this person was someone who never really talked to anyone, certainly wasn't confrontational, but spent a lot of time online being controversial and confrontational with other people, which is what I've seen in comedians. I remember a comedian, I know this, I'll say his name, Justin Hoff. Justin is an old friend of mine. Justin said something to another comic on a show. I forget what he said. And he wasn't bullying him. He just said something about his set or what he should have done. And the guy shook his hand at the end of the night, went home, and then Facebook messaged Justin to say, I don't think you should have. This guy had to wait till he got home to have the balls to have a confrontational experience. So think about that if you ever find yourself getting upset by some weird or crazy shit you see online. Because, you know, dude, somebody who's posting from a clearly spam account, they're always a bum. They just are. They're always a bum. If you had your life together, you wouldn't be doing that. So anyway, I don't know. That was something I was thinking about. And as I was talking about my teacher, my Spanish teacher, I've had a lot of experiences here in Colombia being down here for so long, because they got me to really understand that so much of what culture is just geography. It's just geography and the history of your people relating to geography, and how much that really affects a race or an ethnicity or a nation or a country or a culture. Is where that really comes from. And a lot of times we don't get it because we don't observe it, and so we don't fully understand. And I've realized that with politics too, that people will often say, oh, how many times have you looked at someone and you go, that guy looks like he would vote for Trump? Well, maybe he looks like he works in construction, right? Oh, that guy looks like he'd be a fucking libtard. Well, probably. He's got purple hair. You know, it's just, when you think, and he grew up in a rich suburb, right? I don't think people take into account that if you had experienced what other people experienced, you probably would be in the other camp, right? If I grew up a spoiled rich kid in a Boston suburb, I'd probably be cranky liberal dude, right? Right? I think so. No guarantee, but there's a solid chance that I would. My views on life, having not gone to schools that I did and not had the experiences I did, it'd probably be really different, you know? And even if I had my same brain, it'd be different. So just, as we get into this 2024 election year, what's really blowing my mind is, I've always heard people in third world countries, and Africa takes a cake on this, when it comes to a presidential election, the year leading up to a presidential election is not a fun time for anyone in that country. And it's weird that we're at that point in the U.S., right? And people are starting to, because already people are getting amped up. They're ready to go, ready to fuck around. Jon Stewart came back. I think I mentioned this last podcast, but he made fun of Trump and Biden and liberals who should love Jon Stewart, because he's a liberal dude, at least he's at least center left. They went in on him for simply just addressing it. You can't address any negativity about him. Not in an election, yeah? This is the election and our lives. Have you heard that one yet? Have you heard? I've been hearing that for the past 3 or 4 elections, that this is the election to end all elections. This is it. It's not. It's not, man. Fuck. Fuck. There we go. All right, I'm back. It's not. Sorry, a little technical problem there. And here, let me give you some examples of stuff that I'm experiencing in Colombia. Right, and I realize this being with my wife too. It kind of fascinates me, because if you guys don't already know, I love history. I love learning about cultures. Right? I'm a big fan of anthropology. I like studying other civilizations, past or present. And I've come to realize that so much of Colombian culture, and I don't think this is exclusive to them, I think you could say this about equatorial cultures versus northern cultures. There's not a lot of big southern hemisphere cultures where you can say this to, because the seasonal changes of what you call the global south. I guess the only place, like Australia, doesn't have big changes in seasons. They're pretty warm all year. Doesn't snow down there. Argentina and Chile, you go to Argentina. So northern Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, you will have a winter and a summer, but the winter's mild. It gets down to the 60s, maybe like the 50s at night. It's not brutal. But if you go all the way down to southern Patagonia and down to Tierra del Fuego, you'll get some snow, but it's not a lot. Very few people live down there, so it's hard to compare, because we have North America and Europe and Northern Asia where people experience these changes in the season. I've realized that a society and a culture based on a place where you have a winter is fundamentally different than one that doesn't. And one of the things my wife has a really hard time with is when I buy in bulk. We can go to the store, I buy a lot at once, and she gets mad. We eat everything. I'm not buying stuff and we're throwing it out. We're eating everything. But there's something that kind of bothers her about buying a ton of stuff at once. And I realize that where it comes from us being from my culture being a winterized culture, in that if it's wintertime in North America, right? You might go, dude, I don't want to. You go to the store, you're not going to buy just one can of beans, right? You're not going to do that, because you might have to go out and then 2 days later you go out and buy another can. But the weather sucks. It's freezing cold out. It's snowing. The weather's terrible. You're constantly in a rush. We rush a lot up north. Do you know why? because seasons are always changing. I'll give you an instance. When I might be inside editing in the summertime in New England, and I look outside and I go, holy shit, it's a beautiful day. You know what people will say to me, and I'll say this to myself, oh shit, it's a beautiful day. I got to go outside. I got to take advantage of this beautiful day. The sun is shining. The weather's perfect. That's a New England thing of being like, oh my God, I'm only going to get so many beautiful days a year. I need to take advantage of that. Right? That doesn't exist down here. Every day is a sunny day. Every single day since I've been down here is a sunny day. There are no cloudy days. If the clouds come, they're gone in 30 minutes tops. If it rains, and it hasn't rained that much, it comes out of nowhere, bam, downpour, I don't know, 30 minutes later, it's gone. It's and the sun comes back. Now I've heard there's a rainier season where it'll rain more. All right, I understand that. But even then, the rain dissipates and the sun comes out. The sun is never, it's there. It's right there. And now it has changed slightly where it is in the sky, but not enough that the temperatures are changing in any way. And it made me realize why people down here are different, why people have island time, we call it, in the Caribbean, because they're not in a rush, because they're not limited by nature. They're not limited by the amount of amazing days they have. So whatever. So what if I take too long to come outside on a sunny day? I'm going to have a sunny day 9/10 of the year. So big deal. I'm not going to have a snowy day. I'm not going to have a nor'easter. We don't get hurricanes. I guess they do in the islands, but even then it comes and it goes. You don't have that. So the idea of you're not in a rush either, because the amount of light you get every day doesn't change. That's why there's no daylight savings time down here, because the sun is out for the same amount of time all the time. It's pretty much it's split completely down the even between the amount of hours each day you get of dark and sun, and then you get your twilight in between, so dawn and dusk, right? So we'll say, let's say you get, I'm going to give myself a rough estimate here, but you get like an hour or two, we'll say 2 hours each of dusk and dawn, twilight, right? And then you get 10 hours of full dark, 10 hours of full light, all the time. You're not rushing to get things done before the sun sets at 4 p.m. on a winter day. You're not rushing to get stuff done because as soon as the sun sets, it's going to get a lot worse. Storms don't hang out around here. Back home sometimes you get a storm and it feels like it's hanging out for 5 days. It's just a friend that came over your house for the weekend to party and he went on a binge, and you go, dude, it's Tuesday, I have work. Go the fuck home. They don't have that. And I've realized that it affects how my wife sees waste. Back home, we buy in bulk. People don't buy in bulk because they're not that they're like the grasshopper in that story. Remember that story when we were kids? The grasshopper and the ants, right? I think that's how it goes. The ants are getting ready for winter and the grasshopper never gets ready for winter. They're the grasshoppers because there's no winter. They don't have to ever, it hasn't been ingrained in their racial psyche to store. They don't need to have reserves because all year, every year is growing season. They don't have a harvest. They don't have spring plant, summer, get crops ready, and then harvest in the early fall, late summer. They don't have that. And then keep as much as you can so you can stay alive during the winter. It affects a culture and a race when Mother Nature and the earth spend several months out of the year trying to kill you, because that's what winter is. It is. So people here they're not in a rush like back home because we feel like we only have a certain amount of time. And you do. I only have so much time in summer. I have so many warm days. I have so many nice days. I have so many days that aren't rainy. I have so many days that aren't snowy. They don't have that. So they're not in a rush. They're much more relaxed, much slower. Back home, winter can feel like an impending attack from a foreign army that comes in. Every year the Huns are coming back out of the steppes to get us, so you get ready. They don't have that. And I think that's a holdover we still have. We buy in bulk because you got to want to go out again in this bad weather. It's cold out. I got to be ready for the winter. So you never know when we're going to lose power and it's going to be freezing cold out. So I got to have canned goods. I got to have frozen goods. I can't just have fresh stuff. That's why we have more stuff with preservatives. They don't have that down here because what do? You can always go outside and go to the store because it's always 70, 80 degrees. Always. Maybe in the 90s. That's it. At least where I'm at. It's always that. So they never are thinking to themselves, what if I can't get to the store? I'm not going to get snowed in. They never have to think. It's never been bred into them to think, I need to stock up. Right? There's less space here too. People fit a lot of stuff in tiny apartments. As Americans, we have space. I've mentioned that. There isn't a concept of personal space in Latin America. Right? You're much closer to people. And I think part of that is because you feel like resources are more plentiful because, if someone's living real close to you and it's wintertime and you're running out of food, you're going to be like, what's that motherfucker running out of food? He's going to come take my fucking food. This stuff is real and it doesn't exist in the minds of people. And I've really noticed that with this culture, with how they treat. Here's one that blew me away. I'm on the elevator going to my wife had a doctor's appointment. I went with her. When you get on an elevator packed full of people, every time someone gets off the elevator, they say bye. They say hasta luego, see you later. And then everyone in the elevator goes hasta luego. Everyone, dude, it blew me. In the US, you get on a fucking elevator, you ignore everyone around you. You quietly, you just go, you're bothered that you have to even share this. In the US, you get to the elevator and you go, please don't let another motherfucker get on here. And if you see someone coming, you hit the closed door button. It bothers us to share an elevator. It does. I know it bothers me, and I'm a friendly dude. It bothers everybody. Everyone is hitting that close the door button. And then they get on the elevator and you just sit there and it's so weird, isn't it? We're on an elevator. You could be friendly. Everyone's sitting there like we're waiting in line at a gangbang. We're in line at a funeral, at a wake, going to pray at the casket. And everyone's just awkwardly and one by one people get off and the tension, as it empties out, you can feel that, it's almost empty. Now it's just me and this fat fuck, They pack everyone in like sardines and they say bye when they get off. And I'm like, it's got to be related to a culture of scarcity. I really think it is. I think when you think about why are people so cold in Scandinavia, probably because they live in incredibly cold environments where historically you had to be insular because if you weren't, there just wasn't enough. They would farm, but it's not like a farm you would find in Mesopotamia where you made enough to feed your family and then 50 families. You had a farm and you were lucky if you fed yourself and maybe a couple other people. So over time, maybe you developed this insular kind of attitude where you be friendly to other people, but at the same time you go, I don't know when. You got to be on guard because you never know when you're going to have enough water, food, anything. Firewood. And I think it's definitely a cold weather thing because if you look at, say, Arabs, so Arabs come from a very hospitable environment. It's the desert. But despite what you think about them, Arabs are a friendly and generous people when you're in, by the long shot, when you're in their culture. I don't think a lot of people realize that part of Middle Eastern culture was that, especially with Arabs, was that if someone came over, if you met a stranger, you were obligated to help them with shelter and water. Because it could be you. You could be out on the desert. And it happens to you. And you hope to God that someone extends that same courtesy. When you went to an oasis, oases were considered places where if there was a war going on, you didn't war at the oasis. The oasis was a neutral zone because you needed this water for everybody. So if, God forbid, you're fighting at the oasis and you're killing each other and dead bodies are falling in the water and the water gets poisoned, then everyone dies. So it's just, I don't know, it's interesting to me. I don't know. I know I'm running on a tangent here, but I find this fascinating. Because the more I learn Spanish, the more I can understand how people think. When you learn a language, you realize that they speak differently. And I know that sounds dumb. Obviously, they speak differently, Mike, but the way they phrase certain things, the concept of time is different, right? They speak of time as a physical quantity in Romance languages, at least in Spanish and French, I know. They don't say, how old are you? Time isn't a state. Time to an American English speaker is a state of being. It's an existence. How old am I? I happen to be 37 years old. In Spanish or French, how many years do you have? ¿Cuántos años tiene? ¿Cuántos años tienes? How many years do you have? How many years do I have? That was weird to me because you don't have time. You have time? Give me some. Dame más. Dame más tiempo. Give me more time. You have time? Give me some. Right? But they think of time as something you have. When somebody asks you how long you have been married, they don't say, how long have you been married? They say, they phrase it in a way of how much time have you had married. It's this sort of stuff shows how a culture views the world, and it does change how people see the state of existence, the state of humanity. And that's it's. I'll give you. Here's one I noticed in Colombia. Like, remember how I said people aren't planning long term because they're not worried about the winter? Now, I'm not saying that people here don't save financially. Some of them do, but and sometimes you can't because you just don't earn enough money. It's a second, third world country. It's rough. Some people are doing great. Some people are doing okay. Some people are not doing well. But when you go to a store, when you go to a restaurant, this took me a long time to figure out. I had trouble with this. They'll ask you a few questions, like Colombians have a number that's on their ID. It's like their driver's license ID, and you have to give it everywhere. I hate it. It bothers me whenever I question my wife. Why are you giving the fucking clerk at the corner store your number? She goes, you're being so gringo. You're just being such an American. Oh my God. I go, of course I am. That's being an American. I'm fucking free, bitch. I don't. And they ask me, and I just go, oh, no tango. I don't have. I go, soy americano, soy turista. If it ever gets that far, I'm an American, I'm a tourist, I'm in gringo. I don't fucking, just and they get it. They look at me, they see my face, they hear my accent. And so you give them that, and then, they ask you, how do you want to pay, blah, blah, blah. You want a bag, whatever, usual stuff we remember back home. And then they ask you, how many payments do you want to make? And I go, it took me a while. Let's say I take my wife out to a restaurant, right? It's a decent restaurant, and we get hamburguesas, right? We get cheeseburgers, and, your drinks don't come with the meal. There's no free water, so it ends up being, because down here you tip 10%. It's not up. The waiter will always say, do you want to include the tip? Es posible servicio, ask you, and you can say yes or no. I always say yes, because the service down here is actually impeccable. People, if you walk into a store, it can be annoying. They run right up to you, and you go, hey, I'm just looking. And they go, oh, you can buy this, and you go, I'm out. But it's not like service back home where the people working every store are lazy fucking bums, and you have to fight to get help. It's actually the inverse to the nth degree. But you go to a restaurant, say I run up 75,000 pesos, right? Tax everything. Let's say 75,000. 4,000 pesos is $1, right? Sometimes probably 75 to 100,000, right? That's a good range, I would estimate. They'll ask me how many, and I give them a credit. If you pay with a debit or credit card, how many payments? And I remember going, what? Wife's like, how many times do you want to pay? And I go, you can put cheeseburgers on fucking layaway? Dude, they put cheeseburgers on layaway. They put hot dogs on layaway. Same every store you go to, you buy Lego sets, layaway. You buy how many payments? Clothes, layaway. Your food, restaurants, the supermarket, your groceries, you're buying butter and eggs, how many payments? Dude. And and my wife's like, that's what Colombians do. She goes, people who don't have money, who want to show off, because everyone, it's a very showy, can be a very showy culture. People will go out, not have the money, and they'll put a restaurant supper on like 20 payments. They do. People put their groceries on 30 payments. People will buy presents and then put them on payments. You know how many people are outside going out to eat and drinking is dependent on if it's December before Christmas, everyone gets their Christmas bonuses. Lots of people out, a lot more robberies because more people have money. Also, payday, way more people out. And she was telling me, in our culture, it's not a culture where you get money and people are really good at budgeting. They have a problem with people will blow through their money too fast. And like I said, it's the grasshopper and the ants. That idea of, I need to hold on because the sunny day won't always be here. It's just not psychologically there. I don't know. I find this stuff fascinating. And I've never heard anyone really talk about it, so I just wanted to talk about it with you guys. And it made me think about politics and how sometimes you meet someone from a different culture and you go, why are they like that? You have a hard time getting it. In reality, there's a reason. There's some sort of reason, and it's usually to deal with climate and geography. It really is. And if it doesn't deal with that, it deals with some of their ancestral history, which is oftentimes reflective of climate and geography. Maybe they moved, maybe a people, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, I guess the Turks carry over some bullshit from when they were Central Asiatic people. I don't know. But I'm saying, when you apply that to people too, and you realize that somebody is a certain way, and this doesn't excuse them being a douchebag to you. Someone's a douchebag, you're a fucking douchebag. But it gives you the chance to understand that if I grew up here, I'd probably be like this too. Be a lot more sunburned, but I would probably have this state of mind because I grew up in this culture with this climate and this way of life, where I'm constantly thinking of, the dark sea. Winter is coming. There's no winter is coming here. Think that phrase. Think of what that means. Winter is coming. Bad times are coming. Hard times are coming. There's no winter. Winter is not coming. How does that sound? That sounds very like, play some fucking, some Zumba? I don't know, that's a dance. Fuck you, Mike. What's some Latin music? I don't know, play some fucking, you play your guitar and you use your maracas. Winter's not coming. Ding, 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 ding. I don't know, reggaeton? Fuck you. I should know. But bachata, play some... But if you can think about that, you can think about the fact that maybe some other dude who I'm arguing with about politics grew up in a different manner, so he thinks of things differently. So instead of just being like, fuck you, I hope you die, you could potentially try and see where he's coming from, meet him halfway, and convert him to your side. Do you know how the Christians won and the Muslims won? Against the pagan cultures? Well, there was a lot of killing. I'm not going to take that away. There was a lot of violence and killing and torture. but there was also conversion. And there was the threat of, convert or die. That in a lot of times there was that threat. But if you think about it, allowing the option to convert, it's like I said, it's like I've said this before. It's like when you play a strategy game and you're the undead, or you have a priest that in Age of Empires that converts, or I guess the Zerg would in StarCraft, they would infest. If you take from your opponent to bolster, kind of like what the Mongols did, where they'd be like, hey, you're our subjects, now you have to send your men to fight with us. I don't know. You shouldn't necessarily be thinking of it as war, but I'm just saying, if you were nicer, people might see life the way you do. Speaking of which, I'm gonna give you a little history dive, because this is just fascinating, because I'm studying the language and the culture here, which is very important to me. And because that's what you do if you're in someone else's house, aka their country, you learn to respect it and understand it, and the more you can understand it, the more you can understand them. And I've got like a real fascination now with the early conquistadors. Because what I've realized, and this was something I kind of realized a while ago, but I've been researching it deeper, was that when I was a young kid, I thought of Spain and the Spanish conquering the Americas. In my mind, the whole Spanish army came over here and went to war, a clash of civilizations. But that's not what happened. What happened is, with the Incas and what was left, the Mayas were kind of disintegrating on their own, but the Spanish did kind of there are still Mayan people, but their culture as it was is pretty much gone. In that form, there's remnants of it. I don't want to say there isn't a language, but it's taken a beating. The Aztec, gone, like the Incas. Now, if you look at the Aztecs and Cortés, the Aztecs weren't conquered by the full Spanish military. This was, in reality, what conquered the Aztecs was several hundred Spaniards, and it wasn't all. They had some Italian guys, some mercenaries, and whatever, and with a dozen or so handguns, early rifles and muskets, arquebuses, and just a few cannon. That's it. An entire city and civilization. And this is one of the few times where a city and a civilization didn't really fall due to outside means. Didn't fall to internal rot. There was some rot going on here at the time, but it was not, it wasn't like Rome. It wasn't just internally fell apart. It's one of the few times where an entire race and civilization were destroyed completely by an outside force. And it wasn't by the full. No one in Europe knew what was even happening. They didn't know about when they had found the Aztecs, people back home didn't know. In France and England and Germany, they didn't know anything about what was going on. Even in Spain, they just kind of thought, I don't know if this time period they were like, oh, there's a new continent, or they were still thinking that these were islands off the east coast of Asia. I'm going to say in between. I think they were leaning towards it was still, figuring out where is this in relevance towards, Asia. And some guys were like, the Spanish had set up shop in the islands, in Cuba and Hispaniola, which is Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico and Jamaica. And I think they left from Hispaniola. Cortés was a guy who was not supposed to do this. He basically heard that there was some guy discovered some people over there, and they kind of had a civilization in the mainland in Mexico. So he grabs a bunch of dudes, hops on a boat, and the governor is like, get the fuck back here. The governor never wanted Cortés to go do this. This wasn't done under the sanctioning of the Spanish crown. Cortés just went over there, right, with a bunch of, and these were rowdy motherfuckers. Some of them professional soldiers, but it's not, you got to remember that the way we worship the military now, this is a very new common thing. The thank you for your service, hero, that didn't exist really before the Second World War. Maybe you could say the First World War is when it started. That is a new age propaganda technique designed to make you so that when someone says, hey, we shouldn't invade Iraq, we shouldn't go kill people in a foreign country, you can go, you hate America, you hate our troops, you're not a patriot, which you saw people do during Iraq. It's a bullshit thing, and it's designed that way, right? You gotta remember that Americans, for half of our nation's existence, for more than half of the existence, hated the military, didn't respect the military. They didn't want the federal government to even have a military. Okay, the income tax to provide for the military came about in World War I. Our federal income tax, it was supposed to end when the war was over, and then it didn't. And so that, and after the Second World War, they could, propaganda's in full swing. We fought the evil guys. So now they could say being in the military is good. And you got to remember that being in the military was something you did when you were usually down on your luck. Some people were like, yeah, I could make a career out of it. It was a way for poor people to get into the upper classes. It's what Napoleon did. A lot of guys did that. But also, it was a place you went. You didn't want to go. You were forced into it. You were conscripted into it at times. Like a Russian conscript, you were drafted in against your will. People did everything they could to not join the military. You were viewed as, you could be viewed well, or people were just like, you're a bunch of pillagers or rapers, which the military was up until, the modern era. You in the military, you joined so that you could sack another city, go in, rape a bunch of women, and then steal a bunch of stuff. You kill another army, you steal all their shit. If there's any women around, you rape them fucking too. That's what it was. And well into Vietnam, if you committed a crime, your choice was go to prison or join the military. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that if you were a crook or a criminal, you had an option to not go to jail. You could join the military. All right? They don't do that anymore because it would have fucked up the whole I've chosen to be a hero thing. And before you get on my dick, fuck you, I'm going to say it anyway. I have friends, family in the military. Some of them are good people. Some of them aren't. So fuck you. But back to what I was saying is that you got to keep in mind, these guys aren't heroes. These Spaniards, these guys made their blood killing Arabs and Muslims and Berbers who had, I guess you could say Berbers, the Muslims who had lived who had for 800 years, about 600 to 800 years, had been in the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal. These guys had finished the Reconquista. In 1492, the Spaniards discovered America, united their crown, and kicked the Muslims out of the Iberian Peninsula. These guys made their bones. The Spaniards were the best soldiers in Europe at this time. They were hard motherfuckers who went up against Muslims, fully prepared to die for their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, without an ounce of fear. Spain was a bad motherfucker. They kicked out the Jews. They said, you aren't going to fuck us over anymore, because the Muslims and the Jews worked together to fuck over the Christians. And they were violent. And so these guys were hardened. And then they went off to the Americas. The Spanish and the Portuguese, both hardened motherfuckers, went off. And so Cortés had a bunch of just adventurers and scallywags and swashbucklers. I don't get to use these words very often. And just ne'er-do-wells and blackguards and just some raw ass motherfuckers, some real gnarly dudes, right? You think about that. Guys who hopped in a boat and was like, maybe we'll sail off the edge of the earth. They were pretty calm. They were like, yeah, the earth's round, but they were like, you could easily die. We'll sink. We'll die in parts unknown. I had nothing. I ain't got a family. It's either this or I become a fucking outlaw or I go to jail. Fuck it. I'm in the military. I'm going to places where we think dragons are, where beasts of unknown proportions live, where cannibals and vicious types of man beasts exist. And they did. And so Cortés shows up, with these ragged guys who slept in their armor, who stunk to high heaven, right? Several hundred of them. burns their ships and says, you motherfuckers ain't going home. Goes there. How does he do it? He does do it with the aid. The Aztecs had a very sophisticated society, but to us it would be very savage too, because the Aztecs loved sacrificing people. They also would sometimes eat people. Cannibalism was going on. They actually, when they were fighting the Spaniards, one of the things that they did when the Spaniards were out, had been kicked out of Tenochtitlan, the cap, what is now Mexico City, the Spaniards would watch as the Spaniards inside the city who had been captured were taken up to the top of the temple. They were made to dance. The Aztecs would hold them down, carve their fucking heart out, cut off their head, right? Skin them, and then eat. They ate the Spaniards and their horses. They boiled them and fried them up with peppers. And the Spaniards had to watch this, knowing that if these guys get us, they're gonna do this. We are gonna hike up a temple, be sacrificed to a dark god and devoured. All right, the Aztecs used to skin and sacrifice kids. They would skin a little girl for their maize corn festival, and the priest would wear a skin. Crazy stuff, right? You got to remember how much the world has changed due to European expansion, right? So it's crazy stuff. This did happen. You can look it up. This is a well-known ritual for the maize festival. Like, I think they take like 11-year-old girl, had to be a virgin. Sucks because they took the prettiest one. They never I don't know why. I think it's worse to kill like a pretty kid instead of an ugly kid. The pretty kid had more to enjoy in life, right? You're ugly. You're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be ugly. But maybe the priest is like, if I'm gonna wear an 11-year-old girl's skin, I want to wear a pretty one. Well, anyway. They did all this horrible stuff, sacrificing, and actually, there's a funny story I read of I heard about this. Some guy married his daughter off to the Aztecs from a different tribe, a different civilization, and he went for a feast there, and they sacrificed this guy's daughter, and a priest comes out at the feast wearing his daughter's face and skin like a suit, and he flips out. I don't know if he was a king or a chief, whatever. He flips out, and the Aztecs are like, "What's the dude? Why are you losing it? We did this as a sign of. We didn't do this out of hatred. This was a sign of. This is something to be honored by and proud of. In our culture, this is you sacrifice yourself so that we can have corn for this year. So it's just talk about a bad marriage. In-law problems." Anyway, so Cortés comes to Mexico. He's got his fucking ragged crew, a few hundred, they got a lot of what they had was just swords, crossbows. They had some gunpowder type weapons, not a lot. Some had horses, not a ton. This was not a full military. These guys wouldn't have been a military anywhere in Europe or Asia, right? This was just they had war dogs. Right? Dogs of war that they'd sick on people with armor on them, which the natives hadn't seen. And he comes in, and everyone hates the Aztecs because the Aztecs have these garland wars, these flower wars, where they go out and they start a war just to take people and cut their hearts out in sacrifices by the hundreds. And so everyone's ready to kill him. So what does Cortés do? He fights a lot of these guys, gets them on his side, and then goes. And this guy, who wasn't... he wasn't a nobleman. He wasn't a great man. This Cortés was not he was not Alexander the Great. This was not the greatest, commanding the greatest army yet to be seen on its war, ready for its war with Persia. This was not Spain in a state of total war. They didn't even know this was happening. The governor of Cuba sent guys to get, Cuba or Hispaniola, it's one of those two. He sent guys to go get Cortés, and Cortés kind of recruited them, and then so he had reinforcements for the guys who died, and with, 500 guys, maybe? And this guy, with this ragged crew of adventurers, just an adventurer, destroyed an entire civilization and empire. That's as if, imagine we find out there's aliens, right? And it's just a few ships. Just some scraggly guys eating the version of beans in a can up there, with their unshaven alien with arrow tentacles, and they come down and they got, I don't know, their weapons are more sophisticated than ours, but they don't have the best. They got a couple glob shots and maybe a few phasers, and that's about it. And they just destroy our entire planet, just like it was. And then people back at their home planet don't even know what's happening. That's what happened here. And I find that as it happened to the Incas too. It's just because I'm in a culture where I see the remnants of this all the time. That, just some scrag, because sometimes I've hiked out here. In this heat, up these mountains is insane. And I think about what it took for some Spaniard, some random adventurer, Italy, Germany, wherever, showed up, in steel and cotton and hiked into an unknown mountainous jungle, seemingly almost an abyss out there for glory. And dude, I'm talking about, I have hiked and thought I was going to die in the equatorial heat with, the right clothes and shots and water and sunscreen. And these guys just went out there and did it. And I'm on trails. And I think, holy shit. That's some determination, right? Like, I know you're murdering bastards, but holy shit. Holy shit. I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know. I've been experiencing a new culture more, and I had to share some of this with you guys because it's just What's crazy is that those guys in a lot of, in some countries they're all that's left, like in Argentina and Uruguay. In other countries they mix with the natives, like Mexico and the Caribbean. They mixed with their slaves, and in some countries like Venezuela they mixed with both. I don't know. Dude, I often wonder. I read a lot about history, and I know we're repeating history, and it makes me wonder. What the future holds. Because a lot of times when you look at history, you look at a civil war, you realize not everyone fought, right? You look at a revolution in a country, in reality, it was like less than 10% of the people were even involved. And everyone else was just trying to exist. It doesn't take a huge group to make a change that's so significant that it alters the entire course of human history. Anyway, I think I had something to add there, and I got so into telling you guys about this history that it blew me away. It blew me away that this fundamentally affects their culture to this day. That just these scraggly dudes and then eventually Spain was like, I guess this is mine, right? Like the king, Ferdinand and Isabella were like, all right, yeah, I guess we're not going to give it back, right? And before you know it, Spain as an empire. And one of the reasons they don't have a giant Latin state is because the geography is really different. It's easier to keep a state together when it's east to west than when it's north to south, because they're on the same, what is that, longitude or latitude? Which one is latitude? Longitude, I believe, goes up and down. Latitude is east to west, left to right. So I'm going to say latitude because those differences in climate between north to south rule in a state that's in an equatorial region and a region where it has winter. The cultural changes are so vast, which is why Chile is so shocking, And I've read that before. It is easier to keep an empire together, like the U.S., Canada, when it's east to west as opposed to north to south. When we split it, we've had a civil war in the U.S. It wasn't east to west. It was north to south. So, yeah, that really does, you can see it, even in our own culture, how much climate affects just northerners and southerners. Sorry, guys, this is I'm sorry, man. I love this stuff. I really do. I could talk about this for 15 hours, but I'm not going to bore you. Just makes you think about how the world got to be where it's at, you know. It's how long am I in? I'm like an hour and 10. You know, it's you know what's interesting is, so I'll just fill you in if you're still here. So I'm going through this immigration thing with my wife, and I thought you just get married and then they're American citizens, and they're not. It's actually difficult. It costs a lot of money, especially if you get a lawyer, and if you really want it done right, you got to get a lawyer. And that doesn't really irk me. What irks me, and I've probably heard me talk about this with other people, is just that they made it difficult for honest, decent, good people who have something to offer the country. But if you're a fucking Venezuelan bum and you pour over the border, they give you free money and free cell phones and free housing and free everything. And you're not penalized. But the chances of being penalized if you do even the slightest thing wrong the legal way is insane. And that's what's frustrating. And it's weird. It's watching you. I guess the reason I bring up all this history stuff is we're at a weird time, and I watch our government. You know, we become kind of we're like a scam, aren't we? You work, you pay taxes, and then the government says, "Hey, I don't have money for you." So, and then they go, and I go, "I gave you money so that you could spend it on stuff for me. And we gave you money so you could fix our roads and give us better education and better healthcare and better schools and a better government and better infrastructure and better transit and better fucking everything." Okay? And what do? They go, we got no money for you. And then you watch them giving money to Ukraine, to Israel, and to illegals like it's a blank check. And you go, dude, you told me my entire life you didn't have money for this. And you clearly do. It's like, have you ever given money to someone and you watch that person spending money on shit before they pay you back? That's what this feels like. It's what you go, "Hey man, where's my $20? And then that dude's like, "I can't get you back." And you watch him on his Instagram stories. He's out at the club taking shots and throwing money at strippers. "Hey motherfucker, where's my $20? That's what it feels like. And it honestly, it feels like too, like you're a kid. And your dad goes, "Hey kid, you got a bum dad. You divorced your mother." He goes, "I haven't got money for you. I'm going to need whatever child support. Sorry, I can't help you out." And then this motherfucker has a new family, and he's spending money he could give to you on his stepkids. He's already like, "Yeah, whatever, fuck, I know you're my real kid, but I got these illegal fucking stepkids. Fuck you. Yeah, whatever, they've done nothing for me and they're not even my blood, but fuck you." That's what it feels like. And I was telling my wife about it because it's daunting. It's a really frustrating thing when you want things to be done right for the safety of your family, which is what I want. I'm not sneaking my wife in. She's not some trollop I met, in a fucking cantina. She's a good woman, and I would never do that, nor would she ever stand for that. She comes like, not everyone who's, you gotta remember, in certain situations, like the ones that are coming over, we're getting the bums. We're getting the people who aren't ashamed to be degenerates, and we're getting the people who want to leave their country because they didn't want to work back home, or they had a criminal record, or they were a rapist back home, and now they're murderer. They get to come here, and it's a fucking free-for-all. You can do whatever you want here. You get free money. You can rape. You can kill. No one even prosecutes you. It's a fight. It's a free-for-all. And it gets. How do I put this? It can bring you down. You just go, what is going on? The fuck, man? Why is right wrong and wrong right and black is white and white is black and up is down and down is up? And you feel like you're losing your mind. And then, I brought this up to my wife about my frustrations with this, that, I want to do right for my family. This is my family now. And she tells me that here in Colombia, and my wife worked her way through college. She's going to kill me if I say this on here, but I'm going to say this. She used to go to shows and dress up like bananas in pajamas. My little wife would dress up like a banana from Bananas in Pajamas and work other jobs to make it through school. Her family didn't have the money. Dad wasn't helping, wasn't around. And she did that. And her brother worked his ass off too to get to college. Like really, really worked to get themselves a better life. And, and she's just, when she first comes, she can't even work. And she is so bothered by the idea of taking months off from work. It disgusts her. She's like, what am I can't not work. Can't not work. Maybe can I go to school? And I was like, I'm looking into it. It's like, if I can't sit around and be a bum in your country, I didn't come to your country to be an illegal or a fucking bum. I work. That's what I do. I work. And I'm like, God damn. Like, give me a chance to take 3 months off. What's wrong with me? And she told me about how she worked away, spent all this money to go to college. First one in her family to do this. And then her government gave free tuition to all the terrorists, all the communist FARC terrorists out in the jungle. When they made peace, they go, you can go to college for free. You've been killing our soldiers and kidnapping people and blowing motherfuckers up. You've been literally fucking terrorists. And now you get free. I guess it's everywhere now, but it's unprecedented. I've searched history and I have never seen a point in time where this kind of stuff took place. So I've researched exactly how civilizations rise and fall over and over again. But this one aspect, it's kind of unique, but in reality, Rome did have a similar situation where the rich got richer and the poor got poorer. And so with them, it was after they defeated Carthage and they had full domination of the Mediterranean. After the Second World War, all the European powers fell and it was just us and, so we had domination over the Western world. Then there was the Soviet Union, and then the Soviet Union collapsed and it was just us. And that's what really did Rome in, is because there was no competition, so all the wealth went to them. And there's no more competition, so all the wealth is coming to the U.S. And our rich are getting richer, just like this. Our poor are getting poorer. The middle class is disappear. And the people who lived in Rome didn't want to, I'm not going and fighting in the Roman army anymore. I'm not invested. So they got foreigners to come in and fight. They got their auxiliaries. They got, I forget what they called them, but they got Germans. Goths and Vandals. They got Alans. They got all these other different people to come in and make up their military and take over their own people. So I guess there is some similarity there. But they did give them land. I guess so. Maybe that is similar because there were a lot of people in Rome like, hey, motherfucker, I'm poor. I want some land, and you're giving land to these fucking Goths. So maybe there is some similarities. There was no welfare. All right, Rome wasn't given billions of what was their currency? Lira. That's medieval Italy. Denarii. They weren't given millions of denarii to billions of denarii to the Scythians in Ukraine or to the Palestinians, the Palmyrans in the Levant. Anyway, all right, I've been going for a while. Let me wrap up. All right, somebody wrote to me. This person asked me a question before about their kid smoking weed a while back. I'm pretty sure they did. And they said, all right, my son is smoking weed. He's a teenager. Excuse me, wrong pipe. How do I address it? I keep grounding him and he keeps smoking weed. That's a tough one, man. Well, if you smoke weed, there's only so much you can do too, because he learned it from you. But I guess the thing to do in this situation, because weed isn't what it used to be. Weed is not back in the day, you'd be like, you're going to get arrested, but you don't get, depending on what state you're in. I know this person writing in, so I know they're not from a state where it's legal in their state, so whatever. So here's what you're going to do. You have to treat him like an adult, because weed isn't a legal thing anymore. It's like drinking. So hear me out. What you got to do is say, look, here's what's up, kid. If you want to behave like an adult, because this is you can say, hey, motherfucker, you can do this when you're grown. You can smoke weed when you're grown up. You go off to college. You take care of yourself. You're getting good grades. Or when you're 21, whatever, 18, 21. When you're grown, you can do this stuff, right? You're in high school. You're not doing it. Here's what you're going to do. If you want to be an adult, because grown-ups smoke weed, kids don't smoke weed. Weed, like alcohol, is for grown-ups, okay? So if you want to be a grown-up and you want to do grown-up shit, you're going to pay your own bills. You don't get a phone anymore. You don't get a phone. You want a phone? You buy one. You want phone service on that phone? You pay for it. You want internet so you can game? You want to play your buddies on PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, PC Master Race. That's a joke. That's in the gaming community. Then you earn it. Then you take care of those bills. You pay them. All right? So if you want to be a kid, right? You want to enjoy being a kid while you still can, because you're going to miss it. I'll take care of that stuff. But you don't smoke weed. You smoke weed, you're on your own, kid. You're on your own. You want to smoke weed, you get nothing. You still got to feed him and clothe him, I guess. But you get tough. That's tough, because that's grown-up shit. And you don't get to enjoy the good side of grown-up shit without the bad side of grown-up shit. Because what's the worst part about being a grown-up? Bills and responsibility. The best part about being a kid, no responsibility, no fucking bills. All right? So you can't have I'm going to smoke weed and then have no responsibility, you son of a bitch. That's too good. So that's what I would do. I hope that's all I could really think to do. I don't know. I'm not going to know if I should advocate giving the kid a whack. I don't know. That's hard to say. It's hard to say. I guess I would be different because I don't smoke weed anymore. I mean, I did when I was that age. If I had kids, how I would go about it. But, yeah, I don't know. I would do that. Like really, really be like, hey, because if you're a kid and you want to take part in your young culture these days, you need the internet, right? You need to be able to be on social media with your buddies and texting them and playing. You and your friends are playing each other on your Nintendo Switch, your PlayStation, Xbox, your computer, your phone, whatever. You're playing your buddies. And maybe you don't have real world buddies, you only have online buddies. So now you don't even get to see them. So I would go that route. That's just me. That's what I would do. Anyway, I just remembered something. What I was trying to say about that whole Spain thing is that we're at this time period where we're assigning collective blame to entire peoples and cultures and races. And what made me think about the Spain thing is, a lot of people are like, fucking Spain. And Spain did get their hands dirty, but it's not like some sheep farmer in Spain isn't responsible for what happened to the Aztecs. Pretty much everyone there, at the time wasn't. It was just Cortés and his assholes. Now, later on, when they did, Spain, people did come over for the government and cause problems. Think about this. It's a monarchy. And you can see how many people in that country had control over that government. It was the king and his lords. And that was it. And you're going to hold people today in Spain responsible and be like, look at what your ancestors did, when you're like, no, my ancestors didn't leave Spain. You're mestizo, you're mixed. You're a mixed race, Mexican, indigenous, and Spaniard. Your ancestors are the ones who did all the raping and the killing. Not mine. Mine stayed in Spain. Yours went over there and did it. So, and you could be like, oh, you guys owe us for this. And you're like, dude, my grandfather was a feudal peasant. No, but say whatever. Great-great-great-great-grandfather was just a peasant. There was no voting. And even that's bullshit. People like to say, well, if you voted for the politicians, you deserve it. People in Gaza deserve it because they voted for it. That's what Osama bin Laden said when he did 9/11, is that Americans deserved it because we voted for the government. It's nonsense. You don't really have a choice. That's the beauty of democracy, of how it keeps people fighting each other, is that you got one guy who's a Democrat who can't do shit and can't change the world, blaming a Republican who's also blaming him. The Republican guy lives in a trailer in West Virginia. Democrat guy lives in the projects in Philadelphia. And they each somehow think that the other guy is responsible for fucking up the other guy's life, when neither of them have control over the government. At the end of the day, your vote can kind of matter, but the deep state's still going to be there. So I'm just saying, this whole assigning collective blame of, well, Germany deserves it. No, they don't. England deserves to get wrecked because of what they did. No, they don't. And look, my ancestors came from Ireland. Much as I don't like the English for a lot of things, I'm not about destroying them for what a monarchy did that they had no control over. You'd be like, well, they joined up in the military. People from every colonial aspect of Britain joined up for the military, not just the English. Because what were you doing? Trying to get ahead. So I think that's where I was going with that whole thing, was to say this weird obsession of assigning entire amounts of heritage-based guilt and racial guilt. Because do we exist in a society where if a man commits his crime and I give him the death penalty, I also give his wife and his kids and his grandkids and his great-grandkids the death penalty? No. It's dumb. There you go. Someone else said something to me, and I guess I'll kind of end with this, which is that... Oh, wait. So, I'm sorry. I know. I keep going. But all this, I spend a lot of time reading and learning about history. I love it. It's what I do. I've done it since I was a little kid, and I got my first books, and I got my first computer, and it came with an Age of Empires disc, and I sat there, and the book explained all the civilizations, and I reread that book 1,000 times until I knew everything I could know about the Assyrians, the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Phoenicians, and so on and so forth. And we haven't changed a lot. We have a lot of old mechanisms that we still have, and I'll give you one. Back in the day, people didn't fully understand how nature worked, the sky and the stars. So let's say the Aztecs, they did human sacrifices, right? Way back when they were doing sacrifices in the Middle East, until eventually they got disgusted by it and they replaced it with animal sacrifices, and eventually that was done. The Abrahamic monotheistic faiths really were the ones to put the kibosh on human sacrifices, because it was something that was kind of existed more in pagan cultures. Although the Jews were doing sacrificial rites way back when too, even when they were monotheistic, and they still kind of do. If you think about it, circumcision is a weird sacrificial rite. And even I'm a Catholic. When you go to church and you eat the body of Christ and you drink his blood, there is a bit of a metaphor there for a sacrificial rite. Think about it. There is. I'm open to admitting that, and that's my faith. Don't be one of those cunts who can't see where your faith's history came from It doesn't invalidate it. All right? Don't be like that, because then you're just like those cranky old guys who complain about, cranky liberals who complain about Jon Stewart talking about when Joe Biden's old. Don't be that dude. We kind of do this now with like social media. I talk to so many creators and entertainers, and they speak of the algorithm like it's a god. We speak of the algorithms and the AIs as if they're these sentient beings, and in a way we put enough energy into them that they can almost seem that way, because we do give our life's force into them. But the algorithm does have a method to it, but we act as if it is this unknown God, and we're consistently trying to hashtag it and use the right captions and the right method, and we're always trying to get right with the algorithm the way somebody would get right with their God or their gods. It's right, isn't it? Is that not? I don't know. I find that fascinating. Whatever. Fuck you. Okay. It is. I see it. It is a weird thing where I feel like we're 2 years away from me watching somebody on TikTok slaughter a pig and cover themselves in its blood so that they can get right with the algorithm. You know, it would get you followers. What? You know, it's the more we supposedly change, the more we don't, the more we're the same. People now these days love to talk about how we're not like what we used to be. They fight their nature, which is where I think depression and anxiety comes from, is when a human being fights the fact that he is a human being and you are an animal, and you do have animalistic urges and desires. You have the desire to fuck and feast and to not trust outsiders and those that are different than you. You have the desire to have interest for your pack and your tribe, and you have the desire to create a hierarchy, all right? And you have the desire to acquire women and spread your seed and lust. All these things come from a natural, true, animalistic place. And to pretend that they aren't real because you have evolved out of them is a lie, because you haven't, and you can't. You don't get to force the evolution. It doesn't work that way. Oh, so anyway, so I was talking to someone, and speaking of cultural differences, I don't know if am I answering something here? How do I phrase this? I'm trying to do this the right way. So I'll address some of this is going to come up on the next podcast, because I just interviewed Andre, and he'll be on the next one I release. But the interview was right before this. And, we talked about men and how when men are young, they're afraid of commitment. And when they're older, they're the exact opposite, because a man is terrified of dying alone. We're not supposed to outlive our wives. So women are better handled for outliving a man than a man is for outliving a woman. So a man gets older, he really wants to clamp down. And I was talking to a girl. We were talking about her thing, and I'm going to keep this, out of respect for her, and she told me she was dating a guy, and he's in his 50s. And out of nowhere, bam, 2 years in, he breaks up. Out of nowhere. And, she's a girl, Latin girl, someone I met down here I'm talking to, and not like that. She's saying, like, all I want to do is to be a woman and take care of my man, to nurture. I am a woman, I'm feminine, I'm nurturing, I do all that stuff. And I got a guy who doesn't want it. I'm back in the U.S. It's all every man wants. And this dude says no. And eventually we kind of were determining that it seems like he's probably bisexual. That's what we came down to. But it's just, it's baffling to me with these cultural elements that there are people who don't know what they got and people who don't like what they got. And that I'm talking to a girl, and a woman, she's a full woman, and she says, all I want is to be with someone and have commitment. And I'm like, damn. And is not, I'm a feminist boss bitch who wears pants and burps and farts and chugs her ice Dunkin' and slugs back a cold brewski with the boys. No, I mean someone who's genuinely feminine. And I'm just like, how are you how are you not off the market? She was a really nice person, right? Like a genuine human being, an attractive woman. I'm just going, in this culture, that like a woman can be too much, right? Like in Latin culture, a lot of Latinos can be hyper. What's the word I'm looking for? Insecure. It's a very big. If a guy down here dates a girl who's got more money than him, huge, almost impossible. If she's older than him, almost impossible. If there's a lot. It can be tough. Anyway, where was I going with this? I guess what I'm saying here is I've talked about like the travel thing and dating, but there's gonna be a way to people to, because I think a lot of people trash people who go look elsewhere because they don't, like I saw this, I made friends with this guy on Instagram who put up a video. He's an Irish guy and he's got a YouTube and he's a photographer and he's in Mexico now. And he talked about going to Latin America and he's like, I feel like I can connect more with these women and they just like me. Back home, women didn't like me. And all the girls trashed him. And it was Latin women, Irish, it was every type of woman trashed him. Because as much as men have a proprietary sense of women, which is that these are my women, they're part of my race, my culture, I own them, women do the same fucking shit with men. And I've seen it. Black women will do it with black men when they date outside their race. Black men will do it to black women when they date outside their race. White people do it too. Surprisingly enough, you see white girls do it where, if he has to go get a girl from somewhere else, because he couldn't, handle a woman at home. But in reality, there are people in different cultures who have something to offer, and you look at them and you're like, look at this woman I'm talking to, and I go, how are you still single? Because back where I'm from, there's no way you could be, and it's just, I don't know. Maybe it feeds into the temperature thing. maybe women are back home are masculine because they got to survive a winter. And there's no time to shave their pussies. Fucking, they're just like, whatever, Harry. It's Maine. So what if I get a Chewbacca? So what? It's cold up here. So I got a Sasquatch. So I got a Sam Squanch in these granny. So what if I don't buy my own underwears and I just wear your tighty whities? Huh? So fucking what? It's cold. It's cold and we're in Maine and I'm just gonna drink to not fucking feel. Oh man. All right, I think that was what I was going to cover. There wasn't much advice for me to give on that last one, I guess, because I already gave it in person. But I guess here's what I'll say. Here's what I was going to say. As much as men are trashing women for not fucking and not being feminine, which many of them back home in the U.S. deserve, you do your fucking job and suck some dick and put on a dress once in a while. All right? Act like a fucking broad. I have heard from multiple women. I have heard this from a ton of women. Okay, who I've known back home who tell me, Mike, I can't find a guy who will fuck me enough. And I'm just like, there as much as men out there trying to trash women, there is a plethora, a potpourri, a myriad of men who are not fucking their girlfriends, who do not fuck enough, who don't fuck long enough, who don't fuck hard enough. Look, I'm not saying you gotta go in there like Johnny Holmes. I don't know who the porn stars are these days. I never even watched his movie. I just know it from the cultural zeitgeist. But I'm not saying you gotta go in there and just fucking, but you gotta give it something, right? Get in, eat some pussy. Who are these dudes? As much as I keep hearing guys talk about women not doing their women shit, hey dude, fucking and going in that bedroom and laying it down and giving your woman the business, that's part of being masculine, and that's part of your job as a man. So get to fucking. If you aren't fucking your woman, someone else will. If you're not fucking your girlfriend, if you're not fucking your wife, someone will, because she needs to get fucked. So fuck her. Okay, I talk with so many people back home, and I talk with so many dudes who are in sexless marriages because their wives won't fuck them. And I've talked with quite a few women who are guys who don't fuck them enough. Okay, I keep hearing this. He won't fuck me enough. I don't know if it's a low testosterone in men. I know a lot of sometimes that's because a guy is closeted and turns out he's bi or at least gay, gay or at least bi. I don't get it, man. Here's the thing. Long time ago, I was that guy. Long time ago in a life far, 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 far away, when a girl wasn't getting it where she was supposed to be getting it, there were situations where I rolled in and got it, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that that's who I was, and I've done that before. I've been that guy. Fuck your fucking, and I've watched other guys do it too. Fuck your fucking woman. That's your job. So I'm just, out of this whole thing, I talked to a woman who went through an experience like that, where the guy wasn't giving it to her, eventually left. Guys, you're so ready to point the finger at women and be like, fucking women, fucking bitches, blah, 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 blah. Are you fucking? Are you eating pussy? Are you laying dick down? Are you giving it as much as she wants it? Do your job. Do your fucking job. Get in, go do some fucking cock push-ups. Fucking get hard, watch some porn, and then see if you can push yourself up off the floor. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it breaks. I don't know, lift a book, do something. Tie a little fucking rope around it, put some weights on the end, and fucking do. You put on that scene from Dusk Till Dawn while Simon Hayek is doing her striptease, and you just go, you do your little fucking lifts. What do you fucking get your fucking dick on? Get whatever you gotta do. I don't know what it is, but if you're a man and you're not, and your woman wants to fuck more than you need to go back to the book of being a man. And here's the thing, a lot of you get insecure, and you know what it is? Let her go, because you're not man enough for that woman. Sorry. If she's fucking more than you can, and you're like, nah, I don't want to. It's one thing if you're working a hard job and you're out doing concrete all day, and every now and then she's like, can we do it? And you're like, look, no, I'm fucking done. But even then, you gotta keep that. You gotta take care of that, right? I'm not a big fan of banging at night. I'm a morning fucker. I lose all my energy right before bed. I'm sleepy. All right, it's easy for women to have sleepy time sex. You just lay there. I wake up in the morning, my belly's empty. I had a good night's sleep. I take a piss, chug some coffee. I'm fucking, I got my morning erection. Fucking you ready to fucking go? Okay, so maybe it's just get your timing right. I don't know what you're gonna do, but just guys back home, guys in the West, don't be so ready to point fingers when you're not doing it. A lot of you shaming women when you can't deliver. So that's my advice. If you're not, keep track of it. Because I maintain that if you're in a marriage, excuse me, I gotta pick this nose. If you're in a marriage, man or woman, and your partner ain't putting out, and it's understandable if they're going through something, you get some postpartum, your partner's parents die, that's understandable. But if they just don't put out, they're just like, yeah, I'm not fucking no more. They get to cheat. Do your job, or someone else will, because the job needs to get done. We haven't evolved beyond animals, okay? You gotta control the lust. You gotta put it in its place, but you can't obliterate it. You can't make it disappear. You can control it enough that you put your lust into a loving, monogamous relationship, but the idea of, I'm just not gonna fucking fuck no more. No! Cut that out. So, fellas, the ladies, there's plenty of blame to go around, but stop. You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Don't be a bitch. All right. Wait. All right, that was fun, man. I know this was kind of random, but I really wanted to get one out this week. I get some more, and then I get some more interviews going. And I've been working hard at making some content for online. So if you follow me on social media, I'm sure you'll see it, especially with my YouTube's going. And I'll put more on the other social media apps. Kind of had to, be like, yeah, I don't want to post for a bit till I'm ready, and I'm ready. So thank you. Keep on keeping on, and don't understand where other people come from. Fuck your partner, and don't be so quick to blame. And you don't have control over the world the way you think you do. So don't be getting so bent out of shape. Come on. You don't have as much control over. So when you get mad over shit you can't control, you kind of become a cunt, and no one wants to be around you because you're just gonna get angry because you can't change it. So just keep that in mind going into this political year. Anyway, thank you. Do I say the name of my podcast? Get Your Act Together? I guess so. Stay motivated. Do your shit. May God bless you in all your endeavors. Take care, everyone. With a hood, yeah.